It's a good job, isn't it, with these ventilation shafts? It's always the case in any film or TV show. They always have to unscrew something to get in, but when they get to the other end, they just push it off and it's fine.
That's very true. The far one is never sealed, is it?
Well, hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Paul, and as always, I'm joined by
Thomas.
And we're about to dive into the final episode of the Sea Devils, which has been a really episode 6. Let's hope. I think we were saying last week we hope it'll stick the landing. So
yeah,
see how we do.
See how we do.
Boom.
Doctor, do you think it's the right thing?
I'm doing the only thing possible, Captain Hart, and we're to avoid a major conflict.
Suppose they won't.
Liz's outfit is quite.
This is
something
where Joe
in this
sees a sea
story.
devil.
Oh
Joe.
yeah.
Joe.
Sorry,
Joe.
Liz. Joe. Why did I say Liz? Getting my companions mixed up.
All right, Captain Hart. Get these two out of
They all start to blur into one after a while, don't they? I'm joking. Of course, all the Doctor Who companions are completely unique and.
Ready?
Be a bit careful where he's putting his hands there, Captain Hart.
Yeah. I don't know how I felt about that.
Wonder how Katy Manning felt about that.
Well, exactly, yeah.
It's a good job, isn't it, with these ventilation shafts? It's always the case in any film or TV show. They always have to unscrew something to get in, but when they get to the other end, they just push it off and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. The far one is never sealed, is it? And I love how they're always all interconnected. There's never a grill or something.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah. It's like, for some reason, buildings just have loads of holes running all the way through them. Now, this is getting quite hard to listen to, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, this is another classic example of if you had a dog in the room, you'd just be going mental. Nice hovercraft. Oh, look at that! Captain Hart's going for it.
Wow. Oh, hovercrafts are awesome, aren't they?
We had a hovercraft in Enemy of the World, didn't we?
Oh, right. I thought you were about to say your family.
Yeah.
It's going well for you, Paul, is it?
I think that one of those Sea Devils did a front flip when it got shot.
I think it did. I like the quick cuts of the machinery.
I'm very impressed by the fact they've got an actual hovercraft. Again, it's another example of how the Navy took part and just lifts it, doesn't it?
Now, I've never quite understood hovercraft in the military, because wouldn't it just pop?
Probably. I'm not sure they're used for assault vehicles.
Right, it's more a transport thing.
I'd assume so.
Yes, Doctor.
It's cool it can go on land and water.
Yeah, well, as can I.
Can you?
Well, yeah. I can swim. I can walk.
That's all.
On water.
Ah,
Yes.
Yes, I've now finished.
details, Thomas.
Yeah, they really have done a good job. You know, kudos to the art department for making them look slimy.
Hmm.
Well, Doctor?
Because I often find with these sea creatures in old sci-fi shows is they just look a bit too dry. You're like,
Right.
I'm not sure if that's come from the water. Because
You prefer your sea creatures a little bit more moist. Well, I did say that I don't think hovercraft are used as assault vehicles, but here we are. I bet
Yeah.
we're going to get shot and he's going to do a flip off the top.
the stunt team did it because they
There we
could.
go. Nice.
I love how they've got the windscreen
Nice.
wipers on.
Yeah. Got to be able to see what you're doing.
Yeah, but it's not raining, is it?
Might be that fine rain.
Are those the pleasure vehicles? That doesn't look very military, does it?
No, not really. Just happened to be there though, ready.
Oh yes, we're going to get a boat chase. Come on.
Now I have a feeling if you look closely here, it's pretty clear that this is not Roger Delgado in the boat.
Ah.
Jon Pertwee, I believe, is in the boat. But I think the stunt double for the master is a little bit noticeable.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not Roger Delgado.
Oh, that is an awesome shot, isn't it? With the light coming through.
Yeah, it's nice.
This is sick. Oh,
God,
the
all
lens
that water.
flare. Oh, this is good action. Almost James Bond level, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Just speeds onto the beach.
I'll admit I was right all along. Massive nuclear strike. It's the only way.
Not until we know what's happened to the doctor.
Excuse me, sir. I've just seen Lieutenant Scott. He said the doctor heading on to see you.
A nuclear strike is just the most absolutely ridiculous
Chasing another...
idea.
He's going full Independence Day on this thing.
Yeah.
Is a nuclear strike when all the people who work at the power plant stop working for a period of time?
Just say we're not coming in today.
We want a better pension.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly
That'd be
what
like
they're
an
talking
unfortunate
about.
mix-up, wouldn't it?
Sir, we request a nuclear
I order a
strike.
nuclear strike. Why have you bombed the place? I only meant we were all going to take the day off. What have you done?
There's a sketch in that, isn't there? Let's someone
Absolutely.
make it happen. Yeah.
As a child, I realised there's only one sea devil that actually speaks.
Oh, right.
I don't think I'd twigged that.
It's always the same one that we've heard talking.
I think so.
It's not just that it's one person doing the voice of all of them, it's that there is only one that talks. That would be really interesting, actually. Their kind of leader has the gift of...
Hey, do you know that is the only time? The only time the Doctor ever says, "I reverse the polarity of the neutron flow."
Oh, right, that's where it comes from. That's amazing.
Yeah. Literally that's the only time.
So we've had several of the big lines now. We've had 5 rounds rapid. We've had reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. Wow. Goodness me.
So that was actually genuinely set off by the Navy.
Oh, wow.
So Master's about to regenerate.
Oh. Very clever. Oh, the Doctor's little smile there. He's like, oh, of course you'd do that, Master, you son of a gun. Wow, what an ending.
It was convenient that the Master had a mask of his own face in his back pocket.
Yeah. Don't you carry those around, Paul?
Always, yes. It's certainly a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me. So, yeah, what do you think of the conclusion?
I enjoyed it. I was surprised by the ending there. It was sort of bittersweet, wasn't it?
It's very similar to the Silurian ending, isn't it? Sorry, Doctor Who and the Silurians.
Yes, the sense of a species that has lived on Earth for a long time, and so they're not aliens, and they're trying to... Yeah, there's the question of do they take over, or do they coexist with the humans? And and the Master getting involved, and I was interested. I was like, oh, the Master's dead. I thought you were right. I thought we were about to see him regenerate, and then of course it was one of his tricks. But I really enjoyed the boat chase. I thought that was great, very well shot, even if it was slightly, you could tell that it was Delgado's double.
Most of the time when he's driving the boat, he's like this. The camera's over there. So
hide the face.
That's how I drive when I'm driving my car. Dear me.
Yeah.
No, I thought there was I think it's a really good episode. I mean, I like the conclusion of it, and I really like the whole story. I think the final episode with the hovercraft is really cool. The whole sort of battle, kind of assault thing. Again, it's a bit of a hallmark of the Pertwee era, isn't it? Some kind of army assault, with an attack with a villain. But I thought that was really good. Looked good. The ending's really nice with the Master taking the hovercraft and leaving. And it's interesting. It is like the Silurians, isn't it? In some ways, in the Silurians, it's the Brigadier who orders the destruction of the caves, and the Doctor's appalled. And then in this one, it's the Doctor who sort of brings it about himself in order to prevent. So he does something in order to prevent a greater war, which is interesting. Actually, that does raise some interesting ideas, and the Doctor is prepared to do that. So I suppose he favours humanity over the Sea Devils.
There are sort of situations in life where both options feel non-ideal, and sometimes people have to make difficult calls. Yeah,
absolutely. But I really like it, and I was just thinking actually earlier today as I was contemplating, coming to see this final episode. I think for me that this is probably one of my favourite Pertwee stories. It's definitely up there. It might, I think I said I really like Inferno as well. I really enjoy that one. So I don't know which one is my favourite. But for me, it's probably up there as well in one of my most enjoyable Doctor Who stories. Maybe because it has that nostalgia element for me as well of being something that I watched when I was a child. So it has that element. But I get the impression from the comments that we've seen from people that a lot of people really like this story as well, even if one or two think it could do with a little bit of trimming. But often the case with a six-parter, so I'm not going to hold that against it. But I think it is generally just... you think from that episode, think back the difference between that episode and back to episode 1 where we were sort of in the prison and stuff. It's moved quite far as a story. It's got some distinct phases to it, so I really like that. Just the visual look of the whole story, I love. Like I said, I like the sound. The fact that it is so distinctive and out there that makes it its own thing. So I'm kind of on team soundtrack for that one. Team Radiophonic Workshop.
Yeah, I think I agree.
So, yeah.
I think I was saying that because some film music, even for quite suspenseful stuff, when it's orchestral and quite conventional, arguably, you probably would listen to it afterwards. Now, I probably wouldn't listen to the soundtrack of The Sea Devils as I'm going to sleep or when I'm going for a run or something. But that's not a criticism of it, because I think it is jarring and it's uncomfortable to listen to, but I think it, as you say, it gives it a unique atmosphere and helps build that, build the uncomfortable nature of the story. So, power to the Radiophonic Workshop, as you say.
And I mean, there's I guess there's something to be said for that, isn't there? That it's music that is very much designed to be in context.
Yeah.
And out of context, it feels very unusual. So, take another soundtrack from something like Lord of the Rings, for example, which has a phenomenal soundtrack, and you can listen to parts of that outside of the film because it still makes sense. Whereas I don't think this as a soundtrack makes sense away from the story itself. But I don't think that's to detract from it. I think it just shows that it's a different function and it's a different approach to music.
Yeah, there's a place for both, isn't there? And variety is the spice of life.
Absolutely, yeah.
Variety doth be the spice of life. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know what you made of it. And do check out our Discord community and the link in the description, and we can continue these conversations. And also our Patreon as well, where we have a growing archive of hours and hours of bonus content that you can get on there from just £3 a month, I think. 3 British schmackaroos a month. You can get access to the full commentary tracks for these episodes and all of them going forward. So we'll be putting lots on there. But regardless of that, great to have you with us for watching here on YouTube, and we will see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.